We are back with another installment of Danger and Violence Extreme. CV97. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the third episode, or I guess I call it the third live stream. But make sure you hit a like on the video, and of course, head to the Twitch channel. You can find a link for in the description down below. Make sure you head over there, follow the Twitch channel, and of course, you can watch these live. So basically, the way it works is YouTube takes like 3 to 4 days to process these live streams, and then they're released or they're uploaded properly. So if you want to watch it, when everybody else is able to watch it, I mean, there's only a handful of people. I think we had a peak of about 12 on that last live stream. Feel free to come and join. I mean, the times they're a little bit different. Obviously, this one is, well, for me, it's about 1 a.m. in the morning now. But I've been trying to do them at about 10 a.m. my time, which is kind of like, I think it's like around 8 p.m. LA time. Maybe a bit later for New York. I think New York, obviously, they're on opposite sides of America. But yeah, it's a lot different. I think over in the UK, right now, it would be... I mean, I can obviously check my phone, but I think it's about 9 a.m., I want to say. Actually, it might be 11 a.m. I think the UK has, I think it's an 11-hour difference to Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Daily Time, whatever I live in. I don't even know my own time zone. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's start advancing. Got a few things to talk about. Now, the C-verse for 1997 has actually just been released for 2020. So the 2020 updated database has finally come through. Obviously, not great timing because I've just started this live stream series with the 2016 conversion. But ultimately, I think I'm going to stick with this one purely for Dave. But I think I will... I really want to see like the differences that have happened with the 2020 data. Because a lot of workers have been added. A lot of different things have sort of been added to, that sort of thing. Let me actually just bring up, I want to give some credit to the actual mod maker. So let me just jump over here real quick. I want to give him a shout out because this mod it's beautiful. It really is. Even the 2016 version. But, it's Derek B. So Derek B, if you head over to the Grey Dog Software forums, the 2020 mods section, you'll see the C-verse, or Cornell-verse 1997, and of course it is now released. So I want to give him a shout out. Thank you, Derek B, for making a really good mod that is quite fun to play with. And yeah, I will definitely be testing out the 2020 database in due time. Because I want to stick with Dave, and I feel like we've been set a real big challenge in the fact that, we've lost arguably 2, 3, because he's going to leave us this episode as well. We've essentially lost 3 of our best workers. And it's very unfortunate, but at the same time, it's okay. Because we're going to come out of it, stronger. We're also bringing in Sharky George, a 25-year-old Australian worker. He's better as a heel, but I think I want to bring him in as a face. We also have Sammy Back coming in as well, the 19-year-old Sensation, the Elation Sensation. Not too sure how he's going to go down. He does have the aerial and flashness, so he's a high flyer, which might actually mean that the Dave crowd will accept him. Either way, we're going to try and lock him down because, Sammy Back, he's an absolute star. He's a monster, or he becomes a monster around the 2016 time, 2013 to 2016, that sort of time frame. And even in 2020, he might be in time decline, but he's an absolute beast as well. Anyway, in saying that, do I want Sharky to be a face or a heel? I think I want him to be a face. I know he's better as a heel, but we just have way too many heels in the company. And a lot of our... Ooh. That's interesting. TEW. Pile Driver Wrestling. It's the wrestling school, but obviously it's the company. They've just gone out of business. And yeah, pretty much all their workers are now out of contract. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if we could get... I wonder if any of these guys would actually be useful for us. I mean, Rolling Johnny Stones. He might be pretty useful. He doesn't have hardcore, but he's pretty much got everything else. So I could kind of see him being potentially pretty useful. He doesn't have any popularity, though. That's relatively strange. But who else have we got in here? Got the Black Knight. Yeah, Canadian hardcore worker, but not very good. Richard Blood. Richard Blood looks okay, but I don't think he would actually go down too well with our product. Matty Fatty. Yeah. Gravy Jones. I mean, he's a brawler. 100% a heal. I don't mind him, but I don't think we really need him either. Lee Bennett would be a decent option, but again, another heal. Wizard of Ottawa. Yeah, I mean, all these guys, they're not exactly what we kind of need at the moment. So I don't think we'll really go for them, if that makes sense. And I just got to ban someone in the chat there. Just a random sort of spam thing. Coming in the chat anyway. I mean, Kayfabe, I mean, he looks okay, but again, he's better as a heel. So it's just not exactly what we need. I mean, Black Eagle could be very good. Although he's on an exclusive written contract. Anyway, I won't look through any more of those. I mean, they went bankrupt, so, you know, these guys could potentially trickle down and find their way to our company anyway, which I would be pretty happy with. But there is Hollywood TV. They're looking okay. I think I'd probably go with Hollywood or HGC once I decide to change over to the 2020 database. I think it would just be a little bit more interesting to maybe go for a bigger size company. I guess sort of similar to the local to global that we've currently got going on. Anyway, let's just advance, man. Let's just get into it. I want to get into booking the next show, and it will be our first show without Johnny Martin, of course, the former Extreme Champion. Also worth mentioning, we are at 47 popularity in the tri-state area now, so it did start to really kick into gear. It really started to sort of speed up itself. Whereas, you know, that first live stream, I don't even think we gained a point of popularity throughout the whole thing, which was very strange. But at the same time, I mean, I guess I could maybe understand it. I think were we normal ticket pricing? I don't know. I can't remember 100%. But yeah, either way, we find ourselves with not a very good roster at the moment. I have to say that. It's a little bit harsh at the same time, but without Nemesis, I mean, can I even put Morpheus into the decent list? I mean, maybe we can put Morpheus in there. We got Freddie, who's obviously kind of the best face that we have at the moment. We do have Happy Gilmore, of course, Tom Gilmore, but he's still got a lot of work to do to get up to that sort of main event level, that big sort of level that we really need and we're really lacking at the moment as well. Another thing I maybe thought about when I was, you know, firing up the stream here, I could potentially maybe look to Japan, because there are, you know, quite a few, you know, there is a hardcore company over there, so maybe if we could, I mean, I think they're actually in that hardcore alliance together with all the other American companies that hate us, so it'll be interesting to see if we could potentially set up a working agreement with them. And maybe do some swaps, get some of their guys over that are better. Ooh, that would have been good. If we were of a relatively decent size. I kind of mentioned him in that last stream we did. BLZ Bub. Anyway, once again, Dave finishing first out of the four different companies in the tri-state region. And again, we get a 5% boost. And also, there we are. Johnny Martin has officially left, and he was the most popular he's ever been as well. I didn't want to job him out because I really liked it. You know, he was our former champion. It kind of didn't really feel right to job him out as such. Got JD in the chat as well. He's at work. Have a great stream. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for at least stopping by. All right. So we got welcome to the danger zone. Don't really know what I want to do for a main event here. I mean, we'll have to kind of look and see what's sort of going on, but we are kind of booking towards Freddie Datson. He was our #1 contender. So we also got Freddie here lifting the locker room, organising a video game tournament. Then we got Nemesis passing on tips on the microphone to Roy Stevens. And yeah, Nemesis passing on tips on psychology to Chris Caulfield. This is a big mentor protege. If he can get Caulfield up to a decent level, Caulfield could then also become, you know, a relatively big star down the line for us as well. Anyway, we do have a little bit of tension between Happy Gilmore and William Fletcher. So that's going to be our sort of focus with our positive meddling. And again, we're just going to continue to go with the generic venues. I think I just want to stick with generic venues, to be honest. Because we don't actually have the data is different to the 2020 data. With it, you know, 2020 has sort of locations for your shows, whereas the 2016 data does not. So it's unfortunate. I could probably, in saying that, I could actually import the. I might actually do that off camera before the next live stream, and actually import over the locations from the 2020 CVerse data. I might be able to do that, and I think I potentially would like to do that, just to have those regions, because I really do enjoy running my local to global series. We start off, I think, in Brampton, and then we eventually have the Go Home show. We have our 4 TV shows. We have our Go Home show in Ottawa, and then of course we have the pay-per-view in Toronto, which is the biggest the biggest area, I guess. Biggest city, should I say, in Ontario. Okay, so I think for this one, we're going to go for No Remorse, and I think they're just going to take on... I mean, this is a pretty easy match to do. Nemesis and Morpheus. That's pretty... Seems like a pretty easy thing to do. And Morpheus is at 39 popularity. I kind of forgot about that. So, you know, he has been doing a decent job. Kind of hoping that, you know, New York City don't really job him out or anything like that. But let's go for 15. And I think both these guys can do hardcore as well. So it's going to be, I guess, a hardcore match. Yeah, it will be. The winner, I mean, actually, you know what? Let's go for Morpheus, and the loser can be Caulfield. Hopefully, Morpheus might get up to 40 popularity as a result. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I think I can also do a slow build, can't I? 15 minutes is the minimum. I might also look for a better road agent as well. Because this guy here, Buddy Gaines, he's only got about 70 for his psychology and respect and reputation, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I really want him to be the road agent we use going forward. Anyway, next match. Let's have Henry Lee come out and beat somebody. Can probably be one of the youngsters, to be honest. Maybe Roy. Roy would be an interesting option. Get him on the show for 10 minutes. But this is just really to give Henry the victory, try and build his momentum back before we put him into another storyline with someone else. I think I'll make this one a regular because I don't think Roy... Yeah, I mean, he could probably do a hardcore, but do I want to do a hardcore? Not really. But actually, you know what? I think I will. Actually, we'll make this... I'm changing my mind about 3 times in the space of about a minute. Let's make this the Wild Brawl. And we'll lower it down to... I guess it'll have to be 6 minutes, won't it? I'm just going to go for 8. I mean, hopefully Roy will just start to gain some stamina by having these longer matches than he's essentially used to. I also want to have a tag team match for Grunge because they need to get a victory back. So let's go for Big Cat Brandon and Kurt Laramie. Because they will be using their sort of rematch clause to take on the Peak Brothers, who did indeed win the tag team titles. I think I'll make this one a... Actually, this one would probably be better off as the Wild Brawl. I'm going to make that one the Wild Brawl. Make this one the... Yeah, this one being the Mayhem match will probably be more beneficial. And then we essentially need 2 regular matches in between as well. Let's go for Puerto Rican Power, and he can take on Jay Darkness, because Jay is the one that I would like to keep. So let's go these 2. Puerto Rican Power, of course, another guy we're sort of trying to push up into the upper mid-card main event level. So we'll go for that one. He can go there, and then let's go for another singles match. Let's have the debut of Sammy back as well. And then I guess we'll use a heel. Let's have the Wolverine. Yeah, we'll go the Wolverine. The Wolverine can beat Sammy back as well. And this one can also be regular. Alright, I like the look of that. Looks like a relatively good show. Let's put in a few angles. Of course, we can't go too crazy with the angles. But let's go Nemesis and Morpheus. Do the old double entertainment. I think I'll give them 8 minutes, to be fair. Although, no, let's just go 6. That'll go there. Does Sammy have good entertainment skills? They're relatively good. I'm sure they'll probably go up quite a bit as well. But let's go Grunge. So JJ and where is he? Monty. Give them 6 minutes there as well. And I think the last one will just be... It can just be, what's his name? Henry. Although I would like to give Puerto Rican Power something as well, but I don't think I'll be able to. So Henry on entertainment. That'll kick off the show. Should be pretty good. I mean, we're almost at about the time we need to be at. Maybe I'll try and give Puerto Rican Power an angle as well. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. For this one, for him, I think we'll go Menace. We'll go Menace. So I think I've tried to do Menace with him before and it didn't really work too well. But just because I want to keep the angles to a sort of minimum, I'm just going to go a cheeky little 4-minute Menace angle there. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's run the show. Alright, so we start off with a 59 rated angle from Henry Lee. Doing a masterful job there as well of improvising interactions with the crowd. Pretty happy with that. Of course, like I said, we need to really try and get his momentum back up. Because he is quite popular and he does have really good entertainment stats. So he could be that sort of the face that elevates everybody up to that upper mid-card level. His match, not the greatest in the world. We get a 26 where we have Henry Lee defeating Roy Stevens in 807 by pinfall with an Asylum Buster. But it's it's not a terrible match. It's not terrible. As you can see, the bout dragged in the middle, with a lack of flow being noticeable. But as you can see, the Mayhem match actually helped both of them out as well, essentially helping hide how bad they both are. So yeah, I mean that's positive. 41 there from Henry, and I mean a 15's about what I would expect from Roy Stevens at this point. All right, we then go into a 32 rated Menace angle for Puerto Rican Power. Honestly, I think his entertainment angles are about the same. They might be about 35, 36 around there. So, I mean, it's not really a big issue giving him Menace instead of entertainment. They're about the same. His match getting a much better rating. We get a 36 there. We got Puerto Rican Power defeating Jay Darkness in 950 by pinfall with a San Juan Rush. And yeah, both of them getting a 33 in-ring performance. So the match is slightly better than both their performances, so we will take that. Alrighty, we then go into a 41 for our tag team angle with Grunge. Of course, they basically say that they're looking to win back the tag team titles. Of course, they're very, very, disappointed in themselves at the fact that they lost the titles to begin with to the Peak Brothers, but they say that they have exactly what it takes to win the titles back and get back to winning ways. Their tag team match gets a 36 rating as well, so 2 36 rated matches back to back. But we do have Grunge defeating Big Cat Brandon and Kurt Laramie in 10:07 when Monty Walker pinned Big Cat Brandon. No finisher apparently, but yeah, Kurt Laramie was also the weak link. Only picking up an 11. Yeah, an 11 in-ring performance. Big Cat Brandon actually with a 33. Not terrible. Alright, we then go straight into a 49 rated match. Very impressive, where we have the Wolverine defeating Sammy Back on debut in 942 by pinfall with the Maul. And yeah, Sammy Back debuting his Teen Idol gimmick, getting an initial rating of great. So yeah, that's a decent debut. 26 in-ring as well. That was a regular match. I think I want to maybe keep Sammy to regular or high spot matches, I think. No pros or cons for his gimmick, so that's actually a bit of a win. As long as we don't get any cons or any negative reaction or penalties for his gimmick, I'm very happy. Yeah, 49, I have to say that's unexpected. Wolverine's pretty good, for our level, where we're kind of at the moment. I would say he's maybe an upper mid-card talent, considering we've lost everybody, but yeah, not too bad. All right, we then go into a 71 rated angle from one half of our tag team main event. We have Nemesis, we have Morpheus, and they try to get on the same page. Of course, they've been linking up recently. You could kind of say that Morpheus is maybe molding his early career after Nemesis, trying to make the rise up. I mean, they even look fairly similar with the beard. Yes, I mean, I don't really think Nemesis is wearing a suit, but I guess he might be presentable in most cases. Anyway, as you can see, Nemesis fantastic and Morpheus performing poorly, but that's bog standard at this point. 71 though, pretty good, although a little bit low potentially. All right, the main event actually does really well. That's like our third highest match, I think, in our history, or tied third. Get a 67 for the main event here. I think we've gotten a 67 once before, and of course the last two shows that we did were 75 rated main event and then a 74 rated main event, but that was of course Nemesis defeating Johnny Martin both times. So yeah, this is really good. We have Nemesis and Morpheus defeating No Remorse in 15-21 when Morpheus pinned Chris Caulfield with the Stampede. Of course, Nemesis carrying the match and Chrissy Caulfield being the weak link. Yeah, really good stuff. That's a really good show. Finish up and we get a 59 overall rating there for Highway to the Danger Zone. Pretty impressed with that one, to be fair. Let's go for Roy, because I think he has morale issues. Let's go for... I don't know. Let's go Big Cat Brandon, and... Not really too sure who else has morale issues that we actually used. Go for Jay as well. I'm pretty sure Jay doesn't have morale issues. I'm pretty sure it's Raul that has morale issues, so... Yeah, interesting. Anyway, we got I Sucks at This Game coming in the chat. Hey man, how you going? Good to see you. Just finished off the first show there. So you haven't really missed too much. And we got a 0.01, which I think is about what we're gonna expect from our little free-to-air TV deal. Alright, what else do we need to do? We've actually gone up in popularity again, which is very strange, because we changed back to normal ticket pricing as well. Local to Global is so addictive. I mean, it's addictive to play as well for me. I actually just recorded an episode, which will go out tomorrow night. The big pay-per-view show as well. Episode 68. Looking forward to seeing everybody's reaction to that. Because the main event... hold on, let me actually just look at the title real quick for that episode. Put in my notes here on my phone. But the title was, it's something about, yeah, it was David Stone Jr.'s big test. And, I mean, spoilers, but the kid passed. The kid passed. Oh, okay, you started watching yesterday? Episode 10? You got a long way to go. Yeah. But I have to say that the series, I feel like the series started off so slowly, but at around maybe episode 25, things just skyrocketed. Just completely took off, and I mean, there are some other spoilers in the most recent episode that I don't want to give away to anybody. But man, potentially the biggest signing you could ever make on the Cverse could be coming to us. I won't say any more than that, but I was very surprised, and I'm pleasantly surprised at that. Anyway, enough about local to global. Let's focus on Dave, because we're kind of in the whole company needs a lot of work, and I'm not really too sure how we're going to go about things. Obviously, Nemesis is basically all we've got, really. And if we're going to lose Nemesis, then I have no idea where we go from there. Either way, though, we'll come out of it. We'll come out of it. I feel like I'm pretty good at turning things around. As you would probably know from the local to global, those first 5 episodes, I was completely just destroying the company, and we turned that around really well from episode 5 into the company that it is today. Maybe I should, I'm just trying to think of like different partnerships that we could maybe set up. Let's go in and have a look here. I mean, why are they the only relationships that we could actually do anything with? Can we not set up another relationship or something like that? Because the company that I would like to do is... yeah, Big Battle Wrestling. They're the ones that I would like to sort of have a look at. I've got this guy, Big Trouble. Maybe we should just try and sign this guy, to be honest. He's really, really over. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, he's better as a heel, but he could be a face. I could bring him in as a face, and we could maybe have him and Nemesis go at it for a few months. Could be pretty interesting, that one. He's also their world champion, so that's pretty cool as well. Although he is quite old. He is quite old. This guy as well, Billy Wood, also very old, but I mean Genghis Khan in there as well. I know for a fact that he's really good, but obviously selfish as well. They've got Henry, so some interesting workers that they've got. I mean, Honda as well. Very young. They have Larry as well, so it's pretty cool. I mean, just looking through, there's not really any more sort of Gaijin workers in there. I might bring him in though. What's his name? Big Trouble. Is it Big Trouble? Yeah, I think I will actually. Although he is pretty expensive. We don't actually need him right now. So I don't think we need to bring him in right now because we've arguably got what we need to get. And I mean, as long as you know the attention's not on that guy, that's kind of a good thing. Anyway, we've got Larry Wood helping create a fun and relaxed atmosphere backstage. And then we've got Lucas Hale going to Wrestlers Court. Small positive impact as well. I think he's one of our negative influences. Eddie Peak. Yeah, it might be because Lucas and Raul, they both have morale issues at the moment, so those two might be able to go away potentially. But we are at 95, so the backstage, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. It's not great, but it's okay. Anyway, the main event, obviously, we'll book that first. Going to be Nemesis taking on Freddie Datson. We'll go 15 for this one as well. Give it a full plethora of time to go through. Can we call it? That's an interesting thing to look at. We definitely can. So I'm kind of hoping that that'll help the match rating as well. I guess the last thing to think about is, do I go hardcore or not? I mean, they both can do it, so why not? You need to try and remember the Dave roster. I mean, it's the same thing for me. Like, obviously, earlier tonight I was recording the local to global episode, so all I was thinking about back then was who's versing who, and now I'm trying to change back over. But this one's obviously a dire situation, so and we have a small roster as well, so I kind of know exactly what's going on with this one. Anyway, we've got the rematch between the Peak Brothers and Grunge. Of course, Grunge losing the tag team titles on that last show. Sorry, on the last live stream. I guess we'll make this one the Mayhem match just because JJ's not very good. And I kind of want JJ to take the loss there as well. Of course, Eddie Peak needs to get the pinfall there as well. Really start to solidify himself as that real top talent that we're gonna look to in the future. I think this live stream we might actually even implement the TV title, because I did have a look. Well, we had a look last stream as well, and there's lots of different titles that we could potentially use for Dave. So I think I'll be pretty interested to implement a TV title that we actually defend on every single show. Anyway, let's do another tag team match here. And let's have the Hardcore Blondes take on the Darkness Warriors. And I actually want the Hardcore Blondes to win. I know it's kind of a weird thing to do, but I do like Jake Harvey. I do like him, so give him the win. Let's give Raul the loss as well. We'll make it regular as well. Just because we're going to need to. He doesn't really want to take the loss. I'm not that fussed about him, but I'll keep him strong just so he doesn't complain. That'll go there. Go a singles match. I think maybe Morpheus taking on Happy Gilmore, potentially. That could be a good match. I know I'm not exactly booking to the storylines at the moment. We probably need to go through and change the storylines, to be fair. Because we've essentially lost everybody that was involved in the storyline, so yeah. I wonder if this one could be our Wild Brawl. No, never mind. Definitely not. We'll make this regular as well. So that'll be our 2 regular matches. That one can go down there. And then we'll chuck our Wild Brawl in the middle. Which I guess could be a triple threat, potentially. I should probably use JD Morgan as well. Does he have good brawling? That's not great, is it? Let's go Larry Wood, Puerto Rican Power, and Wolverine. Or Sharky George. Yeah, we'll go Sharky. Sharky can make his debut here on the pay-per-view. We'll give that 12 minutes as well. Don't know who I want to win this one, though. That's interesting. Maybe Larry Wood. Although Puerto Rican Power, we are trying to push him, so I'll go Puerto Rican Power just because he is young and we are wanting to push him. And I guess the new signing, Sharky George, the Aussie, will take the loss because he's got no popularity. That's an easy one to do. And we will indeed make this a Wild Brawl. There we go. All right, let me have a look at the storylines, actually, because we do need to advance at least one of them. I think we can actually just end this storyline, because it's literally terrible. And what we'll do is we'll add Freddie into this one as well. Let's add Freddie in there. Who else can we actually add into this one? Maybe Sean? Yeah. We'll add Sean in there, because Sean will probably be the next competitor. That'll go in as well. And then let's also add in the Peak Brothers to the tag team title storyline. And yeah, Grunge will probably leave that storyline. This one's also kind of finished. But I don't know what to do with it. I don't particularly want to take Henry out of this one yet. Because he, as you can see, he's rated fairly poorly in the storyline. And his momentum is already quite bad. I mean, the only way to even get that back up is to basically have him cut an angle onto Morpheus, but I don't... Actually, you know what? Let's take him out. And I don't know who we're going to actually put in. We don't really have any faces to really go at him that are decent. Apart from Puerto Rican Power. Maybe we do Puerto Rican Power versus Morpheus going forward as well. That could be a decent little storyline. With maybe we do a best of 3 type deal. Anyway, let's book our angles. So we need Nemesis, Entertainment. You know what? We'll put Freddie in there as well. Not rated on screen, or I think we'll go off screen just because I don't like having people on screen for angles, even though this would be kind of a fine scenario because we are at the pay-per-view. It feels a little bit strange, a little bit. Anyway, we need a Morpheus angle as well here. Maybe we actually cut Morpheus onto Puerto Rican Power. Maybe we could even have the TV title be based around these 2 guys. That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting, and I think that might be the premise for this whole storyline to begin with. Because obviously his match is coming after Puerto Rican Power's victory. So it's like Puerto Rican Power wins. You know, the pressure kind of goes on to Morpheus a little bit. And then Morpheus gets his victory as well. And like I said, maybe they will be the first 2 competitors to go at it for the TV title. Alright, anything else? I mean, we can probably do 2 more angles, maybe. I would like a Peak Brothers angle, but again, they're not very good. Doug's terrible. Eddie's okay with his entertainment. I think Doug's just got a bit of menace, really. All right, I guess we'll give him one. We'll give him one because I do like Eddie. Eddie's one of my favorites in the C-verse. And Doug, well, Doug's just pretty useless, to be honest. But we'll put him on menace, I guess. Give them a little bit of success as well. And advance the Tag Team Champs storyline. And then I guess to finish us off, we'll go Puerto Rican Power again by himself. This time on entertainment because we did Menace on that. We did Menace on that first show. I just want to get a nice little gauge of exactly how good he could be on the microphone. Yeah, that looks pretty good for our second show here in the stream. I'm liking it. Pretty curious to see how this main event's going to go as well. Freddie Datson is probably one of the better workers we actually have. Alright, here we go. Starting off with a 34 rated tag team promo from the current tag team champions, the Peak Brothers. Not great being a 34, but I don't know. Maybe we don't even rate Doug on Menace. Potentially rate him on nothing, really. See how good Eddie can do there. But he did work the crowd well. Using the freedom, to improvise to his advantage. Tag team title match getting a 36 here as well, where we have the Peak Brothers defeating Grunge in 12:05 when Eddie Peak pinned JJ Coles with a peak of perfection. The Peak Brothers making defense number 1 of the Dave tag team titles. It's a good match. I mean, Doug was really off his game, which, I mean, should probably expect that at this point as well. But yeah, luckily the Mayhem match hiding how bad Doug and JJ actually are. Good stuff. Maybe I should do Eddie versus Monty. That'd be a decent little singles match from the next show. Alright, we then go into sort of a random tag team action where we get a 25 rating. We have the Hardcore Blondes pulling off a bit of an upset, defeating the Darkness Warriors in 8:08 when Jake Harvey pinned Raul Darkness with a high-angled back slam. Good stuff. I mean, it's a bad match rating, but you know what? I mean, as you can see, the vocal crowd wasn't very happy seeing Raul. And these two, they're, I think, 19 and 18. I think Roy's 18, Jake is 19. They've got a lot, a big future ahead of them, basically. Looking forward to trying to push them up as well, but it's going to be a slow burn because they really need to develop as well. Alrighty, we then go into a 34, so it's roughly about the same, his entertainment and menace angles. This one, though, as you can see, Puerto Rican Power, clearly enjoying having the freedom to go off script. So it potentially could have gone bad, but it didn't, and it went well, and it still only got about the same rating. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not too sure how I feel about him and his angles. Yeah, it's a weird one. Goes into the triple threat match, though, getting a 32 rating, where we have Puerto Rican Power indeed defeating both Larry Wood and Sharky George, of course, on debut in 11:45 when Puerto Rican Power in Sharky with a San Juan Rush. We got Sharky debuting his Outbacker gimmick. Of course, he's Australian, so makes sense. Gets an initial rating of great, and of course, we look at his pros and cons here. Can be penalized for being used in lengthy angles. Not really sure how long a lengthy angle is. Is 6 minutes lengthy? I don't know. Anyway, he also gets a small boost to the microphone skill during angles as well. So, I don't know. Maybe those two will sort of knock each other out if we put him in a 6-minute angle. Anyway, we move on. That's a very, very, very good rating for Morpheus's angle here. Gets a 62 rating. I know, as you can see, he actually did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. But he's doing really well. Really well. And the push that we've given him, it's definitely paying off. Definitely paying off. He's doing some decent work for us. Real good stuff. His match also getting a 46 rating as well. We have Morpheus defeating Happy Gilmore in 9:54 by pinfall with the Stampede. I mean, he is versing Happy Gilmore, who is also relatively good in the ring. Yo, Simclay, good to see you, man. You haven't really missed too much. You've caught us in the middle of the second show of the stream here. And we've got the big title match up next, I think. So, yeah, you haven't missed too much. Yeah, 46 from Morpheus, man. That's really, really impressive. His push has come full circle. Full circle. He's really doing well. I want to check his popularity as well after this show. Because he was at 39 when we started the stream. And, I mean, after 2 shows, hopefully it'll be like 42, 43. That'd be decent. All right. Oh, my God. We then go into a 98 rated Nemesis angle. This is what I'm talking about. If we lose this guy, I have no idea what we are going to do. I mean, I guess I would just probably strap the rocket to Morpheus, but... Oh, we got a new follower as well. TBK. Getting the Ric Flair woos in as well. Thank you for following, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, 98. I mean, if we lose Nemesis, I couldn't even dream of somebody else getting a rating like that. Purely for the fact that I don't think with our company size, anyone can even get, you know, above maybe a 60 in popularity at the moment. So, yeah, good old Nemesis. If we can keep him for the rest of the Dave stream career or series here, that'd be pretty good. Anyway, the main event, our best ever match, and for good reason, because obviously it's Nemesis, but Freddie Datson is also a really, really talented worker. What mod is this? Unfortunately, this is the 2016 mod that I converted over. But literally, like, a day or two ago, Derek B just released the 2020 database for CV97. So I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't just wait. No, I think I live streamed the first one about 2 weeks ago. If I just waited, that two weeks, we could have actually ran with the 2020 database. But alas, we're going to continue with the 2016. Yeah, 79, we got Nemesis defeating Freddie Datson in 14:48 by pinfall with a Nemesis arrow. And we have Nemesis making defense number 2 of the Dave Extreme title. That's a great match, man. That really is. I feel like we need to kind of do a rematch and try and get an 80 out of these two, because they could probably do it. I mean, with Nemesis, I mean, the sky's the limit, really. And like I said, Freddie, this will do wonders for his popularity as well, because I think he was at about 45 in the tri-state. So if we can get that up to about 50 or above, could tick over to an 80 or an 81 for this sort of main event level match with the Extreme title on the line. Anyway, we finished the show. We get a 69 rated show. I mean, a lot of these matches weren't too good. The first half of the card looking pretty lackluster. The highest rating in the first half was a 36 rated match. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, let's do some more praising. We can praise Raul. Any guys from SWF that I could pick up? I mean, we can take a look. TBK, well, let's take a look. That's a pretty good idea. But let's go for Jake, because I think Jake Harvey had issues as well. And then I don't know, actually. I don't think anybody else around here had any issues. Maybe Happy. I think Happy actually had issues as well, because he was almost injured by a botch from Roy on that last stream as well. Yeah, let's check out SWF. They might have some people that are on handshake deals, which we potentially could also sign up. All right, so we're 12,700 viewers for that one. I think that's like nearly 1,000 higher than the last show that we did. Haven't played much using other databases, not even modern day ones. Yeah, I mean, I would say the same. I haven't really played. I mean, on 2020, I mean, literally all I did was the sort of AEW rates TEW, or TEW rates AEW. But even saying that, that's not really me playing it per se. But yeah, Cornelis is pretty much all that I play. It's very easy, I would say, going from Cornellverse to 97. Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but primarily it's, just in the past of what you're essentially also already playing, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's take a look. SWF. Do you have anybody on handshake deals? They have a few people. Obviously, Nemesis being one of them. But they've got this guy, Bubbles the Clown, who is a color commentator. Relatively good entertainment skills there as well. You got Chief Two Eagles, who's a road agent. Very good popularity. Also a very, very good road agent. I kind of said that I wanted a new road agent as well. So maybe we could go in for... How much would he be? How much would he cost us? Only 600 per show. He's a damn good road agent as well. Like, look at those. Very impressive. I mean, 96, pretty much as close as you're going to get to a 100. Who's this guy? Also a color commentator and a manager. I mean, he's pretty good in regards to his entertainment stats. Real good, actually. But he's also very over, so that's going to be very expensive. I mean, he's only 600 per show as well. Interesting, but yeah, as you can see, nobody on a handshake deal, unfortunately. So yeah, you know what I will do though? Let's go to their roster and let's just shortlist everybody. Because what might happen is they might just start releasing people. Same with HGC. Go to their roster. I mean, they have the money, so they'd probably just re-sign everybody. But I mean, it's worth a go. Worth just shortlisting everybody. Seeing if potentially, we might, or a couple of guys might pop up here and there. What do you think of the Brody Lee episode on AEW? I mean, honestly, man, that episode was special. It really was. Never have I seen something so, I mean, it really felt heartfelt. Like everybody on the show. Even MJF, when he was taunting Brody Lee Jr. and got cracked by the kendo stick. That whole thing was just like every part of the show was just really touching. It really was. I mean, my eyes were for sure tearing up a little bit as well. I think the only thing that I didn't really like in particular was maybe just the end of the show. But obviously, I could understand why they kind of did it. With everybody, well, with Cody and Tony Khan and stuff coming out, giving him the TNT title. Yeah, I mean, that was also a pretty cool moment, but I just felt like that was maybe a little bit unnecessary to do that. Yeah, I mean, everything else was superb. Absolutely superb. Of course, seeing Eric Rowan or whatever his indie name is, I don't know what it actually is, but seeing him come out, the guy's 6'8", he started crying, and then he hugged, his name John Silver, made John Silver look like he was, challenged. I mean, he's got a pretty big challenge when it comes to height to begin with. But he was literally about half the size of Eric Rowan. And, yeah, I don't know. That was just a special moment. Seeing those two guys hugging it out, crying. Luke Harper's first loss was to Cody. And Brody Lee's last loss was also to Cody. I mean, that's pretty cool as well. Although, what does that say about Cody? Kind of burying everybody. Oh, great. Hey, Rise request from Nemesis. Lovely. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so he's currently being paid $2,500 per appearance. But apparently he wants to be paid $3,600. He wants a $1,100 pay rise. I mean, the minimum I can give him is 75% increase, which is $825. Oh man, that's brutal. Absolutely brutal. SWF signing a dojo graduate as well. Interesting. Steve Petty. Pretty cool. Anyway. So Sean Gonzalez has been offered a contract by New York City. Doesn't look like he wanted to go for some reason. We once again finished first in the regional battle. New York coming in for Michael Cook. I wouldn't be against him or Raul leaving. Oh. Look at what's happened. Oh. That's not good. Oh my god, we are being slaughtered at the moment. Freddie Datson, who just got that 79 rated match with Nemesis, has now also been signed by SWF, who literally don't need him. They do not need him. Oh man, this is getting worse and worse. I thought JD Morgan was gone as well. I literally thought he was gone as well. Oh man. Luckily, it was just New York City. Same with Caulfield, but... Oh, we've lost our next biggest star that we had in Freddie Datson. And of course, one half of our tag team, No Remorse, as well. It's just going from bad to worse, honestly. Like, we are just getting absolutely pillaged at the moment. Every stream, we're losing our biggest stars. Every single stream. We actually made $60,000 last month, though. So the finances are perfect. Which is really good. Okay. I was kind of wondering why we sold more merchandise for that month previously, but we actually had the 3 shows. Of course, we had the second day of the Extreme doubleheader. I actually set before the stream started. I did set that as our season finale down there. It's essentially the biggest show I think that Dave were running. They run, so there we go. Okay. Yeah, Cody isn't doing trips level of burying. I agree. I think it's also really respectable what Cody did with the world title as well. Yeah, would love to have gotten Bruce the Giant in there. Only 26 years old. But yeah, we're never going to be able to be able to sign him per se. I mean, signing this guy would be decent, although he's actually not very good. Never mind. It's tough. What do we do now? I mean, we've got Sharky. I guess I could maybe push Sharky. We're already pushing Puerto Rican Power. Absolutely brutal. All right, we got JJ Coles in fine form before the show, keeping everybody in a great mood with his hilarious road stories. And luckily, we've got Nemesis taking William Fletcher under his wing as a protege as well. So I mean, Nemesis, how many... He's got quite a few proteges now. Let's have a look. Yeah, so he's mentor of Roy, Chris Caulfield, and William Fletcher. Okay, cool. I mean, he's also... Is he still the world champion? Yeah, he's still the SWF world champion. And as you can see, his popularity's gone up, which is the reason why he asked for a pay rise. Because I assume he's winning a lot of matches. Yeah, NEW is essentially RIPW for SWF back in the day. Hence the exclusive contracts, or the developmental contracts. Anyway, we're expected to get over 3,000 fans for this show. Be pretty nice. The main event. Actually, let's implement our TV title. Actually, we'll do it next show. at the actual pay-per-view. How long do I have what's his name for? How long do I have Freddie for? Got him for 16 days. I don't think we'll have him for the next show. Well, they're held on Mondays. They're held on Mondays. We might be able to get away with it. We might be able to get away with it. Anyway, I think for this main event, we're actually going to have Nemesis not be in it. Let's give Nemesis the night off because he's very expensive. And we want to try and make a decent amount of money at the moment. So let's go Freddie versus Morpheus. So Morpheus actually got up to 41 popularity, which is pretty good. Let's give this 15. I think we can. Potentially. I mean, it's going to have a slow build, so we should be able to. And Morpheus going to pick up the biggest victory of his career, once again. And he's gonna get the victory over Freddie Datson. Have to job Freddie out a little bit. Alright, what else are we gonna do? Let's have a tag team match. I want to give the Hardcore Blondes another victory. Make them the number one contenders. They can take on the McWade brothers. I don't really want to job the McWade brothers out because they are a decent tag team. But I guess right now they're going to have to take a pinfall loss against, you know, some really young sort of jobbers. Although Harvey I wouldn't really consider a jobber, but Roy I definitely would. So again, this will be the Mayhem match because they're not very good. How good are the McWade brothers? They are relatively good, aren't they? Yeah, I almost feel a little bit bad sort of jobbing them out in this match. Anyway, the Hardcore Blondes will become the number one contenders as a result of that match, so they'll take on the Peak Brothers. Let's do that other match that I wanted to do, which was Eddie taking on Monty. And I mean, seeing as who we just lost, I think we're going to give the victory to Monty here. Seems pretty necessary at this point in time. Because Monty's a face, and we don't really have any more faces that have a relatively good level of popularity. So, Monty it is. I mean, we'll keep that as hardcore, but we need some other matches in here. I think I would like to go maybe JD Morgan taking on Sammy Back, because that'd be a really good regular match. Obviously, JD gets on the card as well. So does Sammy, but, you know, he's going to take a loss. And then I guess we also need another regular match as well. Well, actually, we need a wild brawl. Let's go for Henry Lee and Chris Caulfield. They can team up. Actually, let's go Puerto Rican Power and Chris Caulfield. And they can team up against... We need some heels. Let's go Zeus and Larry. Yeah, we'll go Zeus and Larry. And I guess we'll give Puerto Rican Power the win, because, again, said it a few times now, but we're trying to get him up there, trying to push him up. I'll make the loser Zeus as well, just to keep, you know, Larry a little bit more respectful. Yeah, Clay, there is basically no free agents available. I mean, there is maybe 2 guys that we could potentially bring in. One of them as a face, one of them as a heel. But apart from that, everybody else is either terrible or there's a very limited amount of options available to us. Anyway, let's go for Morpheus with an angle here. Going into the main event. You can once again cut it onto Puerto Rican Power. Because I did like that first one. First one was pretty good. And of course, like I said, they will be versing each other. So one of these matches we need to make into a wild brawl. I guess it'll be this one. There we go. Alright, so that's got to be regular. That one's regular. I guess I'm gonna have to make this main event regular as well, I think. Yeah, we've got a bit of a problem here, actually. We need I need to rearrange these matches, to be honest. Let's go back to hardcore for this one. Let's put the hardcore blondes first. And then that. And that kind of works. I want to split it up, though. Let's do that instead. There we go. All right. That looks better. All right, so angles. Let's go an angle for Monty, I think, by himself. To try and, you know, get him a little bit of popularity. I guess he can actually have his onto Eddie Peak. That'll actually advance that storyline as well. That looks good. Yeah, it's weird seeing the same renders. But, I mean, it's just something you get used to, really. I mean, that'd be a pretty tall order for the mod makers or for the database makers to get renders for, I don't know, 8,000 workers. It'd be very, very hard. So that's one of those small things that you just have to, I mean, you just get used to it. It's not really a big issue. So I need an angle to go before this match. I might just chuck in I was going to say chuck in a Nemesis angle, but I literally can't do that because we'd be paying for his contract anyway. It would make 0 sense. I could use Roy. Roy's got relatively good entertainment stats, which I didn't realize, but he does. So let's do that. Let's go a hardcore blondes angle with Roy doing the speaking. Yeah. I just realized that we are using Nemesis anyway, because we're using him as a road agent. Huh. Okay, shall I try and just use Buddy Gaines? I'm going to try, and we'll see how well this will go. I have a weird feeling that we're not going to be able to do it, potentially. In order just to save a little bit of money that we don't even really need to be saving. And there we go, too many. You know what? I'm just going to let it affect his performance. I don't really care. I don't want to be paying money for no reason. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's everyone. There we go. Alright. We're gonna run with that, to be honest. Let's go. Alright, so we started with that's a 31. That's actually not too bad. We have Roy Stevens, the only one rated on entertainment as well. We do have the hardcore blondes. Roy Stevens working the crowd well, as well. But he does have a gimmick that's getting stale. So maybe we could actually give him a new gimmick, and that might even help him out a little bit more going forward. The attendance is actually 500 people less because we didn't use Nemesis and he's our biggest star. It's kind of our big draw, if you will. That's pretty funny, but at the same time, we're going to use him on the next show. So hopefully that'll get us the 3,000 people, the tri-state area. But yeah, it's only 2,500, which isn't great. Anyway, we move into a 30 rated match for the Hardcore Blondes, defeating the McWade brothers in 9:58 when Jake Harvey pinned Dallas Mick Wade with a high-angled backslam. Apparently, yeah, Buddy Gaines, as you can see, already getting the penalties there. A little bit annoying. A little bit annoying. I should have just used Nemesis, to be honest, but, I mean, we save ourselves over $3,000 on this show, and ultimately, it's not really going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things. We're still going to gain popularity potentially. I think we're 48 in the tri-state, so I think 54 or above, I think. 54 or above. Anyway, we then move into a 46 rated match where we have JD Morgan defeating Sammy Back in 11:31 by submission. A cross-Atlantic stretch. It's a good match. Obviously, the vocal crowd not too happy seeing JD Morgan, and of course, again, the road agent penalty as well. We then go into a 48 rated angle from Monty Walker. So Monty's definitely going to get a push. But again, we're probably just going to lose him. We're going to lose... It seems like we're going to lose everybody, no matter what, which is pretty frustrating. But yeah, there is Monty Walker. Of course, he's cutting a promo on his opponent tonight, Eddie Peak. That match getting a 35, where we do have Monty Walker defeating Eddie Peak in 9:49 by submission. Yeah, Monty with a 36. It's pretty good, but it's not great either. All right, we then go into tag team action, getting a 32, where we have Puerto Rican Power and Chris Caulfield defeating Zeus Maximilian and Larry Wood in 10:29 when Puerto Rican Power pinned Zeus Maximilian with a San Juan Rush. And we got a negative chemistry here. We got Zeus and Larry having absolutely zero chemistry as tag team partners together. Yeah, it's not great. That's not great, but good to know, I guess. Good to know. All right, we then go into the pre-main event angle where we have Morpheus come out. And of course, the one time I need him to do well, he did not do well without a script to follow, but he's still got a 57. So that's not bad, but it's still no 60 that he got last time either. But overall, that'll probably gain him a little bit of popularity, maybe 1 point or so. And I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair. Main event, it does okay. It does okay. We get a 54, which is obviously much lower than we're used to with Nemesis. But this kind of shows me that maybe I shouldn't be as worried about losing Nemesis, because we could do some decent things. Anyway, we do have Morpheus defeating Freddie Datson 14:52 by pinfall with the Stampede. And yeah, Freddie with a 53 in ring, and Morpheus with a pretty surprising 49. Obviously, this match would have essentially been better had, Buddy Gaines not been overworked with his road agency. So it could have been better. It could have been better, which is good to see. Anyway, we finished the show. We actually only get a 48. And that actually loses us popularity in one region, which is ridiculous. But there we go. Okay, well, we won't try that again. Let's just literally use Nemesis on every single show from this point on. It was a good little experiment, but obviously not a great experiment, considering we just lost some popularity. Man. Alright, I'm going to praise Roy. I'm going to praise Morpheus for a good performance. And I'm going to praise... give JD some encouragement. There we go. Alright. Alright, note to self. Let's write a note down. Use Morpheus in every main event. No matter what. Ooh, this will be the first big signing that HGC have made. They're going after Bruce the Giant. Oh, that'd be a massive signing. If they can pull that off, I mean, the 100 star quality, whew, goodbye. The 91 popularity as well. Yeah, as you can see, much lower viewers for this week's show. I'm assuming that's both due to the quality of the show and also potentially the fact that there was no Nemesis on TV either. people would have probably been pretty pissed off. Anyway, 9 days. So I think we do actually have him. Yeah, we got 15 days. So Freddie's going to be at the pay-per-view as well, which is nice. Anyway, hopefully we don't lose anybody else. Because if we do, I mean, it looks like if we lose Nemesis, it kind of looks like we will actually struggle. I kind of said that, you know, maybe we wouldn't struggle. I think if we lost Nemesis, one, I would have to upgrade the production values to be on level, because obviously we're already losing points for every show, the overall show ratings, because we're not at the same level of production value. That'd be the first thing. That might bring us up to, you know, the low 50s for those types of shows if we didn't have Nemesis. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want to lose him. I don't think we will lose him, to be fair, unless HGC come in for him. I think that might be the only way that will actually get him. Interesting. Cheatham Mike Barstow. We could sign him. Relatively good popularity, but I'm not sure. I don't think the fans would like him, to be fair. I think it'd be another JD Morgan type scenario, because he's got no hardcore, got no aerial, no flashiness. He's only got brawling, pyro, and technical. He's also 51 years old, so yeah, I'm not too sure about that one either. Eric Eisen. That's funny. I was gonna say no. I think it's his father, Jerry, or it might be Jerry. I think Nemesis hates Jerry Eisen. I think we have Eric Eisen here, 19 years old, little high flyer, but yeah, we're not gonna be able to sign him. Gonna be staying on that exclusive written contract with SWF. Got Louis Williams, who's a manager. Looks pretty good. Oh, question the mark. Good to see you in here as well, man. Still not even going to try and pronounce your name in there. Mike Help. Probably absolutely butchering that. Oh, okay. One of our referees has just handed in his notice. Michael Bull. Why did he do that? Oh. He's become the booker of NEW. Interesting, okay. Fair play to him. Got 28 days left. And you got Roy and Jay Darkness, potentially. I guess they're not going to New York City for some reason. And I guess Puerto Rican Power picked up an injury with NEW. How is he with NEW? That actually scares me. Yeah, I guess we must have a... Name is Michael, since so many have that name. Switch it up. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You switch it up spelling-wise. Ah, I can kind of see it now. Yeah, one of my best mates is called Michael. Throw that in there as well. Very common name. Well, I guess I can say your name properly now, Michael. I'll still probably just call you Question the Mark. Alright, what do we got here? Nemesis. Yes, here we go. Proteges. Alright, we've got tips on selling to Roy Stevens. Actually very good. We've got tips on psychology to Chris Caulfield. Very, very good. Because we need Chris to try and make the step up from the mid-card level. And we've also got tips on psychology to William Fletcher as well. Perfect. Love those proteges. They're perfect. Alrighty. Actually, let's do some more meddling before we kick into things. Let's go Happy and William. Positive, no effect. Alright. A little bit unfortunate, but there we go. Let's book this show. Now, we need to make the title first of all. So let's make the title. We're going to create a title called the TV title. TV or television? I don't know. Let's see what the actual belt looks like. You get that lovely sound through the ears. Okay, it's television champion. Alright, I'll call it television. There we go. I kind of like it being the television title. Obviously, we're gonna refer to it as the TV title, but there we go. Anyway, it's gonna be the secondary title. Actually, should I make it floating? No, I'll make it secondary. Yeah, we'll just go secondary. Alright, there we go. Television title. 35 prestige, which I guess is very fitting considering the other prestige we have for the other belts. But let's book the main event first. Now, I have no idea who is going to... I guess we could just do Freddie again. Do we do that? Do we go Freddie versus Nemesis one last time, or do I use Freddie and job him out in order to try and get a little bit more popularity onto somebody else, potentially? Any other titles? I think we might go... Well, what I would like to do is once we go up to medium size, we're going to change the Extreme title to a World title, and then we'll create a new title that's going to be floating. That's going to be called the Extreme Championship as well. So we'll essentially have 3 singles titles. Obviously, the TV title is going to be defended only on TV once we get a proper TV show up and running. The Extreme title will obviously only be defended in hardcore matches. And then obviously the world title is just our main event level title. And then of course we have tag team, and we'll see what else happens in the future. But that's the game plan for the short term, I think. Well, obviously not that short term, because we've got quite a way to go until medium size. Anyway, what was I doing? Still thinking, wasn't I? Yeah, so Morpheus is up to 45 popularity as a result of that win over Freddie. Part of me just wants to have him beat Freddie again. I mean, Wolverine's already at 43 popularity, so it doesn't really need to be Wolverine. Somebody near that level that is a heel. I mean, maybe Eddie Peak. Maybe Eddie Peak, man. I mean, I don't really see anybody else that's a heel that has like a relatively decent amount of popularity. Apart from Morpheus or Eddie Peak. I think I'm going to do it. Let's go Eddie Peak versus Freddie Datson. We'll go 12. We'll try and go 12 minutes with it. I'll make this the hardcore match. There we go. That's a massive victory there for Eddie Peak. All right, the main events. I think we'll just go with. We can just go with Henry Lee versus Nemesis. I mean, it is what it is. It's nothing too special. Nothing too bad, really. I mean, it's just average, and that's all Henry Lee is, to be fair. I mean, yeah, that'd be an interesting idea. TV title matches having a 10-minute time limit. That'd be pretty cool. That looks pretty good. Actually, we'll go slow build as well. Regular or hardcore? I think we'll go hardcore. Title on the line. There we go. Chuck in Nemesis's angle. Yeah, I mean, all-out matches for 10 minutes, but I mean, most of our matches are going to be either hardcore, wild brawl, or mayhem, so I think they automatically have all-out for some of those match types, or the match, whatever you call them. Match. what are they? They the match something. I can't remember. I literally can't remember what they're called. Anyway, we're gonna have the. Well, we're not gonna have the Peak Brothers, are we? Let's have the Hardcore Blondes once again. They're gonna take on some more heels. Let's go with Laramie and Fletcher. That'll be pretty good for them. Yeah, I think some of them do. I think Hardcore has All Out, and I think Wild Brawl has All Out as well. I'm not sure about Mayhem. Let's give the win to Roy. The victory to Roy there, because Roy's been impressive. Like I said, his whole deal with these entertainment stats has really kind of put a bit of a better light on it for me when it comes to him. There's another nice victory there for the boys. There we go. That is hardcore. I mean, that one's hardcore as well, but I could probably let's go Wild Brawl for this one, because they both have pretty good brawling. So Wild Brawl, that kind of makes sense. And then we need to chuck in, yeah, need to chuck in a couple of regular matches there as well. All right, so regular match. I guess. Oh, we need the TV title match as well. I forgot about that. All right, let's do the TV title match first. Puerto Rican Power taking on Morpheus. We'll give it 12 minutes. It's going to be Morpheus. Has to be Morpheus, essentially. Will I make this a regular match? I think I will, because his brawling is higher than his hardcore. So I think I'd prefer it to be that way around. Maybe that's the same for Morpheus. I know his hardcore is a little bit higher. Okay. Bit of a trade-off there. And let's chuck the television title on the line. Obviously, it's a pay-per-view, but you get the gist of it. And I guess because it's at the pay-per-view, it doesn't really need it's not going to have a 10-minute time limit. Maybe a 15-minute time limit. I could probably actually make a default match type for the TV title matches. Anyway, let's book our last match here. And we need it. I guess that one should go there. And then we'll go one more regular match in the middle. And let's have JD teaming up with maybe the Wolverine or Big Cat Brandon. Yeah, we'll go Big Cat Brandon. Why not? And they can take on. I'm gonna say Caulfield, but maybe not Caulfield. Let's go Gonzalez and Sammy. Yeah, why not? All right. There we go. 12 minutes, regular match. The winner is going to be JD. All right, that looks pretty good. And it needs to go right there. Perfect. All right, so angles. I think I want to go maybe for a Freddie Datson angle to kick off the show. Of course, he'll come out and address the fans, basically say that it's his last show in the company. Say that he's looking forward to taking on Eddie Peak tonight. Then I think we'll go for maybe an Eddie Peak angle back there. I mean, nah, we'll just go for a Morpheus angle. Let me go Morpheus. We'll put Puerto Rican Power in the angle this time, because obviously they're going to go face-to-face in the ring this time, prior to the actual match starting, but... yeah, there we go. I think that'll do us for angles. I mean, we really don't need angles on our shows. They are useful, though, for obviously getting people over, but at the end of the day, it really just doesn't matter too much. Let's run the show. We start off with a 75 rated angle from Freddie Datson. He was superb working without a script. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand the entire time. Like I said, his eyes tear up. He says that tonight is going to be his last ever match in Dave. He's moving to the big company, or the biggest company in the world, but he will never forget where he came from. And Dave is his heart, while the other company have essentially bought his soul. That's a nice way of saying it, actually. 75 for Freddie Datson, eh? Alright, we then kick things off with a terrible, terrible match. A 17. Very bad. Anyway, we have the Hardcore Blondes defeating Kurt Laramie and William Fletcher in 10:05, when Roy Stevens pinned William Fletcher, a rolling woodcutter. Yeah, I mean, the bout dragged in the middle with a lack of flow being noticeable. Roy Stevens seemed off his game. Roy Stevens forgot to change his gimmick as well, so I'll change that. And, I mean, luckily it essentially prevented the match being so bad, but yeah, there we go. It's pretty terrible. Yeah, very terrible. Lack of flow being noticeable in the middle, because essentially nobody has the psychology in this match to even, script a match for 10 minutes probably. So there we go, 17. Alright, we move on to a much better match. We get a 50 rating for this one. Big tag team action. JD Morgan and Big Cat Brandon defeating Sean Gonzalez and Sammy Back in 12:17. When JD Morgan submitted Sean Gonzalez, they cross-Atlantic stretch. Obviously, in terms of in-ring work, JD head and shoulders above everybody else with a 56. And we also had a pretty good 44 there from Sean. Like I said, Sean will probably be the next opponent for Nemesis next month. So we'll have like a number one contenders match. Maybe we'll have Sean versus JD, and I might actually put Sean over. Because as you can see, the crowd, they don't really care about seeing JD or Sean. So, yeah, it's a weird one, but they're both really popular. So, it's a weird thing that I'm going to have to keep pushing with. Yeah, it was a bad match with the Blondes. Terrible. But what we've got to do with these young guys, we have quite a few sort of young workers that are in their rookie year or their first pro year, and they're not good. They're really bad. I'm going to try and use them. I'm going to try and bring them up and build them up. Anyway, we then go into a 44 rated match, but it is of course Freddie Datson's final match in the company. And we have Eddie Peak defeating Freddie Datson in 9:43 by pinfall with a peak of perfection. Eddie Peak with the biggest victory of his career to date. Even bigger, I would say, than winning the tag team titles. He's pinned Freddie Datson, a mainstay in Dave, on his final appearance in the company. Great stuff there from Eddie Peak. Although, it's actually not that good. He only got a 29. Good stuff from Freddie, getting a 51 though. And unfortunately, the Wild Brawl apparently was poorly placed because the crowd wasn't buzzing enough, ready for the action. Anyway, it's probably the first match, the 17, coming into effect there. All right, we then go into a 67 rated angle from Morpheus. Morpheus is without a doubt the hottest, highest rated youngster that we have. In the highest rated by far. Because, I mean, the second highest would probably be Puerto Rican Power. And Morpheus is kind of smashing him at the moment. And as you can see, this angle was only Morpheus rated on Entertainment. Didn't even want to try and put Puerto Rican Power on Entertainment. Yeah, just Morpheus saying that he's going to defeat Puerto Rican Power here and become the television champion. Would you look at that? We get a 37 rated match here, where we do have Morpheus defeating Puerto Rican Power in 11:48 by pinfall with this Stampede. We do have Morpheus winning the Dave television title. However, Puerto Rican Power and Morpheus just don't seem to click, and it showed in their performance. So we have negative chemistry between our two, our biggest face prospect and our biggest heel prospect, and I literally can't even put them against each other anymore because they both have negative chemistry with each other. That is terrible. Okay, we go into an 84 rated angle here with Nemesis. Thank God we got Nemesis to save the show. Otherwise, we would be in trouble. We would be in some serious trouble without, you know, his angle. And hopefully he's going to put on a pretty good match, even though he's versing Henry Lee. The main event actually does pretty well. We get a 71. Of course, Nemesis getting more popularity is only going to essentially bring these match ratings up even more, which is good to see for us, but obviously we're now paying an extra $825 per appearance. We do have Nemesis here defeating Henry Lee in 14:31 by pinfall with a Nemesis arrow. And of course, Nemesis making defense number 3 of the Dave Extreme title. 71 main event to finish the show. Happy with that. We get a 63 overall. Literally, I mean, Freddie Datson coming in clutch with that angle to start us off, but the rest of the show was a bit stinky. A little bit stinky. Actually, you know what? It actually wasn't that bad. The 50 rated tag team match, 44 rated singles match, the TV title match, terrible. And then the main event, obviously, saving it. So, yeah, 63 is pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, we got Terror King coming in as well. Good to see you, man. I think let's... I don't know what to do, actually. I don't know who to praise anymore. Should probably check and make sure I remember who actually has any sort of morale issues. We're going to praise Nemesis because why not? We may as well. I think Gonzalez might have some morale issues, and I want to get rid of those before the next pay-per-view. So 2 appearances time, basically. Watch that win be the peak of his career. Yeah, I mean, he essentially might get stolen once we start to push him up the card. So he very likely could be over in SWF in a few months. But luckily, we almost get back to the 13,000 viewer mark, which is good. I think that's actually our highest viewership there as well.